Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
We bring you the lunch edition of MBC News with me, Romeo Umari. Our top stories this afternoon. In our first story, His Excellency the President, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, has stressed that his top priority is to restore economic stability, asserting that he will not be distracted by rumor-mongering, misinformation, or politically motivated attempts to divert attention from the government's development agenda. More in this report.
In a statement signed by Chief Secretary to Government Justin Saidi, State President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has emphasized his continued focus on strengthening public service delivery, combating hunger and creating growth opportunities. The statement further says the Malawi leader remains unwaveringly focused on this mission and will not be distracted, emphasizing that Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika is not a ceremonial president. The press release comes following social media reports claiming that the president did not chair the previous week's cabinet meeting. Regarding the delegation of his powers, the statement has stated that the president delegates representation to the most relevant and appropriate official, taking into account the nature and objectives of each specific function. The statement adds that such decisions are not motivated by malice, indifference, or ill will, but are deliberate measures aimed at promoting governance and reducing unnecessary public expenditure. Furthermore, the statement has assured Malawians that the presidency remains united and firmly committed to serving the nation. In conclusion, the statement says the sacrifices being made today are necessary to build a stronger economy, improve public service delivery, and secure a better future for all Malawians.
The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology has urged the development partners to continue complementing government efforts of promoting quality education, noting the success of the Free Secondary Education Initiative depends on the participation of all stakeholders. Line Minister Brahim Saka made the remarks in Doha District when he handed over 13 classroom blocks and 14 pit wetlands constructed by Let's Build Foundation and 7 community day secondary schools in the district. Gloris Nyanga has compiled this report, read by Helix Manemba.
Speaking at CBCDSS in Doha, Msaka said that with the introduction of free secondary education, there's an urgent need for more classrooms to accommodate the growing number of students. He explained that the construction of the new classroom blocks by Let's Build Foundation is in line with the government efforts to expand access to quality education. He further stressed that the government will ensure that every secondary school has proper learning facilities, including laboratories, noting that improved infrastructure is key to improving student performance and increasing enrollment.
Let's Build have given us a beautiful headmaster's office and has given us 4 beautiful classrooms. It's our responsibility as government, working with the Member of Parliament for the area through the Constituency Development Fund and other resources to ensure that these other aspects of a school are here. We will not rest until all these are here.
Country Director for Let's Build Foundation, Ruth Kawale, said the organization's assessments had established that Doha District is among the districts most in need of adequate educational infrastructure, hence the support.
We started in 2021 in Malawi, and then we said we shouldn't go far. We should start with districts that are close to our head office, so we learn. So after learning, we constructed 48 classroom blocks in Lilongwe district, and now we finished the needs according to the findings of the research that we did, and then now we've moved to Doha. So that's the main reason we're in Doha. It's because of the needs that we identified.
CBCDSS head teacher Clemson Gajipala said the school had previously struggled with dilapidated infrastructure, which discouraged students' enrollment.
The very poor classrooms, students were learning in very poor conditions. Sometimes they were leaking, and we were even scared that the roofs can be easily blown off by the winds. So in most cases, students were not happy with such classrooms, and that was a total demotivation to them. But now with these new infrastructures, yeah, we are very happy, very proud, and it will add soup to us, and again, it will attract more and more students to come and be learning here.
Since its establishment in 2021, Let's Build Foundation has constructed more than 50 classroom blocks and pit latrines in several districts across the central region.
A total of 4,791 learners with different types of disabilities are expected to sit for this year's Standard 8, Form 2, and Form 4 MANEB examinations. FIDOMA Executive Director Simon Munde says there is a need to establish sustainable policies that will help these learners during the exam period. He also said it is important for exam invigilators to include people with disabilities who can assist other learners with disabilities.
The fears that we have are situations where the examinations that have been done in particular format are being sent to an examination center where you do not have a candidate with a particular disability. So for us, what we would want to make as an appeal to Malawi National Examinations Board is that let's make sure that the assessment must inform the assessment that was done for various candidates in various districts must inform the distribution of the various examination papers. If it is about examination papers in Braille, they must go to the right schools where those particular candidates with visual impairment are. And even the large print, the particular fonts for particular examination papers must be taken to the right candidates based on the findings of the assessments, the way they were done. The same applies to the invigilators. Some years ago we had problems that you'd find that invigilators, specialist invigilators for particular candidates are not available in that particular center where a specialist vigilator is supposed to be found. These are some of the things that are to be checked thoroughly so that candidates with disabilities have no excuse as they are going towards these examinations.
Meanwhile, MANEB Public Relations Officer Angela Gajirigo said their board is ready and has put in place arrangements to support special needs learners. A total of 614,915 learners have registered to sit for this year's Standard 8, Form 2 and Form 4 examinations.
Have candidates that will write Braille printed examinations. Some candidates have low vision, and then there are also other candidates with different forms of physical disabilities. So we do accommodate all these candidates. We do make special provisions. Example, like I have mentioned, those candidates who are not able to see, they use Braille printed examinations, and low vision candidates, they are provided with large print papers. And candidates with special physical disabilities, for those that do not be able to write on their own, they are examined orally. And for these, a scribe and an invigilator is also assigned to assist them throughout the examinations. And in terms of the time that is provided to these candidates, depending on form of disability, some are provided with extra time, which is indicated on their examination papers, as compared to those candidates that are writing the normal papers. But of course, there are also some special needs candidates that use the same timeline as the rest of the candidates. For instance, the low vision candidates, since they are provided with the large print papers, they use the same duration to write their examinations as other candidates. While for the others, special time, which is extra time, is indicated on their exam.
This is MBC News with me, Romeo Omari. A reminder of our top story. Moving on, health researchers have been challenged to capitalize on networking and collaboration to conduct evidence-based research that may impact lives of Malawians and improve healthcare service delivery. Associate Professor of Health Systems and Policy at the University of Liverpool in the United Kingdom, Linda Mibando, made the remarks during the inaugural research day for School of Nursing at Kamuzu University of Health Sciences, KUHES, in Lilongwe. Austin Fugula reports.
Associate Professor Mibando stated that young researchers struggle to obtain grants from their research because oftentimes they lack mentorship and advice from senior researchers who can shape their research proposals to be responsive to the issues the society is facing.
For one to be able to achieve a very good grant that is going to be funded, one needs to think through what are the local problems that are available in Malawi that are going to speak to the policies and priorities of Malawi. One needs to be thinking of a multidisciplinary team, because you don't work in isolation. Better grants are done in teamwork, meaning that you're bringing in the different professionals within that team to do that. There's also an aspect of integrity. There's a need for a researcher to be a researcher of integrity, so that whatever monies are entrusted into me, the finances that I've received, I should be able to use them diligently.
Executive Dean of School of Nursing at KUHES, Dr. Genesis Chowe Sungani says the Research Day provides a platform for young researchers to present their research work ideas, at the same time get feedback from senior researchers. Dr. Chowe Sungani adds that for a long time, only a few research works done by both undergraduates and postgraduates translate into policy making and make an impact on improving health service delivery.
We now have a knowledge translation unit in the Institute of Postgraduate Studies and Research, where we are going to have people employed specifically, like whatever research is going to be presented here would still be linked to that office, and that office should come up, support the researchers and direct them to say how this research can end up into an innovation or can influence policy and come up with the policy briefs.
The School of Nursing Research Day was the first of its kind for Kamuzu University of Health Sciences, held under the theme Sustaining a Research Culture in Nursing, Evidence, Excellency and Impact. Austin Fukula, NBC News, Lilongwe.
A new organization aimed at helping men freely express their concerns and emotional challenges, Kunkamo, has been launched in Blantyre. Professionals from various fields, including mental health specialists, legal practitioners, police officers, and others, will be involved in providing counseling and support to people whose lives may be at risk due to emotional distress and mental health challenges. Arthur Chokoto reports.
Activities marking the launch of the Kumasulankawa Momasuga Kunkamo initiative began with a solidarity walk from Maselima to Country Club Limbe, where various awareness activities were held. According to Executive Director of the organization, Devi Malamya, several programs have been planned to reach people across the country with the aim of reducing suicide cases and promoting mental well-being, among other objectives.
In a few days, we'll come back to the nation to say exactly what we want to be doing. Otherwise, a lot of people just talk about suicide, but maybe how the remedy, how to control suicide in men, and again to help those people who don't have enough.
One of the mental health specialists, Dr. Precious Makina, says the establishment of the organization is a major milestone in efforts to promote good mental health and well-being among Malawians.
When you talk of mental health, it has different prongs, including prevention, promotion, curative services, rehabilitation, and research. So coming in of institutions like these ones, they're quite helpful, especially in terms of promotion of mental health, as well as prevention of mental health problems. Because most of the times for us in the health sector, our role comes in when it comes to curative services. But for preventive, I think we need more support from the private sector, from civil society organizations like this one. So it's a welcome idea, and we really are proud of them.
Women who participated in the Solidarity Walk to launch Kunkamo said they are pleased with the initiative, noting that many women have been affected by the rising number of suicide cases among men. Arthur Chokoto, NBC, Blantyre.
Gender and Justice Unit, JGU, an organization that advocates for gender equality, has signed a 3-year memorandum of understanding with Nice Trust, the Women's Judges Association of Malawi, WOJAM, Police FM, Legal Aid Bureau, and Trust Psychosocial Support. The agreement seeks to strengthen access to legal and psychosocial services for survivors of gender-based violence, GBV, in 11 districts across the country. Speaking at the signing ceremony in Lilongwe, Gender Justice Unit founder and executive director Salaiji Sala Tempahof said the partnership will help women in hard-to-reach areas report abuse and access legal information through the Empower Line mobile application and toll-free helpline 4285.
Women face extreme challenges in accessing justice, including stigma, but a lot of it is a lack of access to information, legal information, in simplified ways and in languages that they understand. This is a reality not just for women, but for many of Malawi's population across the country. Our programming brings justice closer to people. We have seen that gap is not just in terms of where you can access justice, but whether you can understand it, whether you can afford it. And so our programming works not only through increasing access using digital platforms, but also through partnerships
like the Women Judges Association of Malawi, who help us to bring mobile courts to communities, the Legal Aid Bureau, who provide legal representation and where we can refer our clients and people who are experiencing domestic violence and do so in a manner that they're not re-traumatized when they're reaching legal assistance.
Women Judges Association of Malawi, WOJAM Executive Director Justice Fiona Mwali said the association, through the partners, is committed to providing mobile and camp courts for GBV survivors to ensure timely justice.
As Women Judges Association, we have a major role to play in bringing the courts closer to the people. So this MOU was about mostly the Empower line, which is a line where people can get free information. But where it comes to the women judges, we are also partners in another strategic arm, which is what we call mobile courts or camp courts. So this is where the courts are able to go to places where courts would not ordinarily sit, where there is a long distance between that particular village and a court, where victims of gender-based violence would have ordinarily had to travel long distances. So as WOJAM, we provide a system where we bring the courts closer to the people by bringing the magistrate. We will sit in a church, we will sit in a classroom, so that the cases are done and witnesses, as well as victims, don't have to walk a long way in order to have their cases heard.
In sports, the FDH Bank Premiership will take a 2-week break from now and pave way for international matches and also to accommodate the start of the Airtel Top 8 Cup. This weekend, the Flames will face Ethiopia in 2 strength testing matches in Addis Ababa. The league will resume on 20 June this year. Well, that item also concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. Keep up to date with our news coverage by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Romeo Umari. Thanks for watching.
Usaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.